Welcome back to Livewire. I'm your host, Wes Doak, and our number here, Livewire, means the wire runs from our studio right to your home. If you'd like to participate, we'd appreciate having you as a colleague, in a sense, on the show tonight. And I am told that we do have a caller right now, so let's go to that, and we'll come back to the introductions again in just a moment. Go ahead, caller. Do you have a comment or question for our guest this evening?
Yes, I'm the mystery caller, Ron Cooper, Executive Director at Access Sacramento. But I'm at home, and I was watching the show, and I just wanted to go on record that the two radio producers you have there, Del and Steve, are just fantastic. And the service that they provide the community, Steve with all of the guests that he's brought in, I mean, a litany of them, and just about the who's who in Sacramento. And Del, we're down at the Thursday night market, and he's got the salsa music going and puts on quite a show, and it's both have been with us for years now, so I just wanted to put in a little plug for them. We appreciate them and the other radio producers. They're doing a great job.
Okay, thank you, mystery caller. I think the special part about that call is it does remind me of something I have not said since the program began, and that is, I hinted at it earlier, but that is everybody, with very few exceptions ever, who comes in and does a television program, myself on this case, your radio programs, we're all volunteering. There are no paid people doing these shows. Most of the people who help with tonight's program, Livewire, are volunteers, people from the community who've come in, taken classes, learned the skills, and contributed their time to make this a very exciting place. And most of all, I think the thing that's unique about KCBL and about Channel 17 and 18 is it's local television, as I said at the top of the show, by, for, and about Sacramento County residents. All three of us are imports, but we're Sacramento County residents now and enjoy it. I want to go back to your show. Everyone may not know what salsa means, obviously a style of music, but tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about the nature of salsa music. Obviously they can tune in on Thursday afternoons from 2 to 4 and hear the repeats, or come down on Thursday night market and hear it. But for those who may not be able to make it right away, tell us a little bit about salsa music. Where does it come from? What's the nature of it?
Well, salsa was given the name salsa because of the fact that it was taken a little piece of music from this, a little piece of music from this country, from this Latin country, and it was all like mixed in together. It all started with drums, but then percussion was added, brass was added, it all became salsa.
And what's the basic rhythm? Is it?
It's very rhythmic. It has an afro, more of a drum beat than anything else, but it's the only music that I know of where people still can dance and dance to it very close, you know, very, very, very together.
For music purists, whether it's European, Asian, South American, Scandinavian, or whatnot, they don't like to confuse musical origins. Now, you said a lot of salsa has African origins, but it also has Latin influences too. Are those Cuban,
yes,
Puerto Rican, Mexican, Central American? What's the real Latin part that was added to the African to make salsa? I know you happen to be Puerto Rican, so maybe there'll be a bias here, but I'm sure you'll give a totally objective answer.
As it came from the drum era, it was refined in different countries. Okay, and now more than ever, a lot of Colombian orchestras are getting into the scene. Yes.
So South American might be the dominant influence in salsa right now.
I would say yes. I would say.
Are there? If it's dominant influence now, presumably there may be different schools. Could someone listen to salsa music, identify Cuban origin salsa music versus Puerto Rican salsa music versus Central American salsa music?
Yes.
And you play some of all those, or?
I sure do.
Tend to be influenced by Puerto Rican salsa?
No, I'm pretty. Like I said, if a caller calls in and I have the music, if I got it, they get it.
Great. And let's give that number again, whether it's Thursday afternoon for your program, or what time is your Saturday afternoon too is your program. Thursday morning 11 is your program. The number is
456-5199.
And they can call in and make their suggestions heard, or thank you for your program. I'd like to say we are deliberately not giving people a taste of it because we want them to tune in and hear your show, or come to the Thursday night market and hear it. But actually, we don't have facilities right at the moment to interrupt the show with just an audio-only portion. So do tune in and listen to these shows. And I might mention that for members of Access Sacramento, we do mail out a regular television and radio guide to our programs. So you can log them on your daytimer or on your wall calendar or whatever, and make sure you don't miss these programs ever, or tape them on your audio tape or videotape player. And our schedule is also available on the internet and some other ways too, so it's fairly easy for people to find out when these shows are on, and we hope that they will do that as well. Tell us a little bit more about your show. You talked about some of the great and near great folks and fun people you've had interviewing. I'm sure everyone is not an easy interview. Have you learned a skill or two in interviewing the folks?
I really have, Wes, and that's making people feel comfortable and reassuring them, especially if they're not a professional performer or whatever, that you're going to interview them and think of it as a conversation between you and I. I do have some funny stories. One of them was Peter Noon, who used to be lead singer of Herman's Hermits, and he was in town a couple of years ago on a fundraising thing, and I was fortunate enough to have run him down at his hotel, and it was a telephone type of thing. And as soon as I got him on the telephone, it became apparent that the guy could care less, and he was bored. And he started answering me. I'd ask him a question, and he'd go, yes, no, and I'm going, oh my God, this is going to be a complete wash-up. But about that time, he had gone to the Soviet Empire. It had broken up, and Video Hits 1 were promoting that, and he was in Russia. And I decided to ask him what that was like compared to the town in Britain that he grew up in during the late 40s, the 50s, and everything. And I guess I hit a magic button. You couldn't shut him up after that. His joy was just overflowing and everything. So
okay, unfortunately, we will all have to close off what's been a very enjoyable conversation for me. I want to thank some of the people who help underwrite television, local public access community use television here in Sacramento, Sacramento Network Access, the Pinewood Apartments, and of course the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission, all of whom help us one time or another throughout the year. You've been watching Live Wire, a show that's on cable channel 17 each Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Watch us each Wednesday. We appreciate your tuning in. And again, thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show tonight.
Thank you, Les.
thanks for having us.
All right. So we'll still be on now.